Hey everybody, it is Sonia with Our House of Life, and today we're going to be talking about a fun, healthy snack that you can make in your own kitchen that is fabulous and so healthy. These are mung beans, and this is what a mung bean looks like in its original state. It's just a little green bean like this. And when it's done, it's going to look like this little guy right here. And this is a really tasty snack. It's actually very sweet. Now, the mung beans that you may be familiar with are usually in your Asian food. They're a little bit longer, they've been sprouted longer, and they're maybe on the bitter side. When you don't sprout mung beans as long and you take them out when they're very small, they're actually very sweet. And yet, they don't have a lot of sugar. So let's talk about mung beans and how simple this is. What we did was we took just a few mung beans, and we get them in bulk, and we just filled up this glass with about this much mung beans. That's maybe a quarter of a glass. And all we did was we took some water and we filled the glass up with water, like so. And then we left it overnight. Now, if you're concerned about bacteria, as some people are with sprouts, then you can certainly cover your glass. Really, there's no bacteria on these beans because we've washed them, and these are in clean water. So we're not really worried about that today. So this is what it looked like a few days ago, and this is what it looks like today. It's probably been soaking for about a day and a half. You can see that just this tiny amount of beans already absorbed and has started sprouting into this huge jar. What is going to happen is we're going to put them in their own glass container, and they're going to form their own kind of biome within the glass container, and it's going to look like this when they're done sprouting. So this is about 3 or 4 days of these that have been dumped in this container, and we're going to show you how to do that real quick. What we're going to do is we're going to take these, we're just going to dump out the water. I'm using my hand as kind of a strainer. Yes, my hands are washed. I'm using my hand as a strainer, and we're just going to strain out. You can see there wasn't a whole lot of water in there. And then we're going to use a piece of this. This is called cheesecloth. And I happen to have a really big container or package of cheesecloth because we use it a lot. You can get something like this on Amazon, and I will put the link to the cheesecloth that we use down below. You can also get a cheesecloth that's not bleached if you like, and those are a little bit more expensive, but certainly you can use one that's not bleached if you like to use everything all natural. This we got for another project, so this is what we're using and using up. And what you'll do is you'll take a piece of cheesecloth about, say a foot or so. Doesn't have to be super long. This is maybe 14 inches. Okay, so we're going to take this cheesecloth. We're going to grab an empty jar. And we're just going to open up this empty jar and take this cheesecloth. And I actually like to open up this cheesecloth a little bit because that kind of holds the mung beans in place. So we're going to put this cheesecloth over the jar. You can see it's still kind of double. Can you see that? So there's still more, like a double layer of cheesecloth in here. And I'm actually going to hold the cheesecloth while I pour the mung beans in because I don't want the cheesecloth to fall to the bottom. I want it to stay up here at the top. So I'm going to hold the cheesecloth while I pour the mung beans in. And there we go. We have just about all of those cute little beans in there. And then we're just going to take the lid and screw it on. Now this is a nice enclosed system, so you don't have to worry about germs and bacteria are getting in here if you have a really clean jar, which we do. And then we're just going to set this off to the side, and this is actually going to turn into, in a couple of days, this right here. So your mung beans are going to look like this. They just sprout themselves. There's no extra watering like some sprouts that you have to water every single day. You don't have to water these every day. So how do you get these out of the jar? All right, let's just grab a bowl here, and we're going to tip this over. You're actually going to use your hands a little bit to pull these mung beans out of the jar once they're sprouted. So we keep some of these soaking when we're really in the mood for mung beans. We keep one of these jars soaking and one of them sprouting all the time because we love them. So what are some things that you can do with mung beans? You can actually add them to soups if you like. That's one of our favorite things. You can add them to salads. We actually like eating them raw as a snack, and we'll show you how we do that. So you notice that some of the little sprout tails are getting stuck in the cheesecloth, and that is absolutely okay and normal. So we're just gonna pull those little sprouts out of the cheesecloth. Now, you can either save this cheesecloth, you can wash it, you can put it in the washer, it will shrink up a little bit, or you can just toss this cheesecloth when you're finished. If we're doing a lot of these, we might set this out to dry, wash it and set it out to dry and reuse it for our next batch. Reduce, reuse, recycle, right? So we're gonna set this off to the side. And then you have this lovely bowl right here of mung beans. And just a cup of these, so I'm gonna put some of these in a cup so you can see how much that is. This does about, I would say, maybe 2.5 to 3 cups worth of mung beans, and that's a little cup of mung beans. So let's talk about the nutritional value of mung beans because it's pretty amazing. Now, interestingly, mung beans, when they're just a bean, they have no vitamin C at all. But through this miraculous process of sprouting, once they sprout, all of a sudden, these have vitamin C, just like your oranges and your apples, etc., how your fruits have vitamin C, these have vitamin C too. The other thing that's important to know about beans and nuts is that before they're sprouted, they have an ingredient in them or a component of them that's called phytic acid. And phytic acid actually keeps you from absorbing some of the nutrients that are actually in the bean or other nutrients that you're taking in with it from other food that you're taking in with it. So once you start sprouting a nut or a bean or a grain, it actually reduces the phytic acid so that your body can assimilate all the nutrients a lot better. And these little beans are just quite the story. Just 1 cup of these is about 212 calories. Only 0.8 fat grams, 14.2 grams of protein. This is one of the best sources of plant protein on the planet. 14 grams for a cup, 38 grams of carbs, 15 grams of fiber, and we absolutely need fiber. So these are going to be wonderful for your digestive system. And this has 80% of your folate for the day. Yes, this is a natural source of folate. So for pregnant mamas or people that are having a hard time digesting regular Bs and a B supplement that's not a folate supplement, this is going to be fabulous for you. Manganese, magnesium, B1, phosphorus, iron, copper, potassium, zinc, B2, 3, 5, 6, and selenium. So this is a nutritional, power-packed little cup of beans. The other interesting thing is that the Hippocrates Institute, which deals with cancer and helping people maintain a healthy lifestyle, says that there's 3 foods that are the most nutritious and life-giving foods on the planet. And those are sprouts, which we have here. Those are seaweed and blue-green algae. Blue-green algae would be something like a spirulina, chlorella, that type of a thing. So those are the 3 most life-giving foods. So when you eat this food, it's actually still living, and that our bodies receive that really well. It's like picking a piece of fruit off of the tree and eating it right from the tree. So it's got all kinds of enzymes in it, etc., as most fresh fruit does. So here's some other interesting facts about mung beans. So it has a high level of antioxidants, which helps fight free radicals. The antioxidants Vitexin and isovitexin. In Asia, they believe that mung beans are believed to have anti-inflammatory properties that help protect against heat stroke, high body temperatures, thirst, and more. Now, some experts question that because they put the mung beans in the soup and they wonder if that may just be hydration too. In Asia, they have a better take on natural health than sometimes we do in the United States. Mung beans may help lower LDL cholesterol, reducing the risk of heart disease. So mung beans are also rich in potassium, magnesium, and fiber. They not only contain fiber, but they also contain resistant starch. And so that resistant starch actually feeds the good bacteria in the gut. So these are doing more than one thing in helping the gut to do what it does best. So studies also show that fiber and protein, which this has, can suppress hunger hormones. So you may just find that this is a wonderful addition to your healthy weight management program. Now, how do you eat mung beans? And where do we store them? We have a couple of jars here, and actually we just store our mung beans in the fridge. So once we get them out of the big jar, we put them in a small jar like this, and we just put a lid on it. Many times we just stick this in the fridge, and when we're on a trip or we're needing to jump in the car for a car ride and we haven't had time to prepare any food, this little jar goes with us and we just pass it around. Everybody in the car just take some mung beans out and eat them raw. We absolutely love mung beans in everything. So you can pick your size jar. Some people might want to put them in a jar like this, because if you're on the road and you don't want to be messing around with something else, you can just actually put them right in your mouth from this jar, and that seems to work really well as well. No matter how you eat your mung beans, they are going to be a fabulous addition to your healthy diet. So there's 3 easy steps to this. We just soak the beans, we let them sit, and then we strain them out and put them in the jar. Okay, so we took everything else away. We've got our mung beans in their jars. How long do these mung beans last in the fridge? These mung beans should last about 7 days, maybe 8 days tops in the fridge. So you can enjoy the fruits of your labor all week long. Now, if you have a day trip where you'd like to pack these, but maybe you don't have an ice chest or a cooler to pack with you, you can actually take these mung beans out of the fridge and keep them with you all day long. And these will stay good all day long. Unlike other sprouts that are thinner sprouts that'll kind of wilt and deteriorate really fast, these mung bean sprouts are very hardy. So they will stay with you all day long, even outside of the fridge, and you can enjoy them that way too. I kind of like mine at room temperature, so I don't like to, if I'm gonna have a handful or a little cup, I'll take it out of the fridge in the morning and kind of let it warm up to room temperature. But you may love yours very cold on a nice hot day, and they're super refreshing. So we hope this tutorial was easy and fast for you, and that you enjoy one of our favorite grab and go snacks. And we look forward to seeing you back here next time for some more nutritional and healthy lifestyle information.